I suppose the first question really is, as England captain, how has the last week or so made you feel about English cricket and your team, and just what are your conclusions really of these last few days?
Okay, it's been an uncomfortable week for everyone, I think. I think that what I will say is that you look at what we set out to do at the start of the summer, and we started the game with a moment of unity and wearing those anti-discrimination shirts. And that is the current feeling within our dressing room. And that is something that we're very committed to moving forward as a side. That is something that we want to do. We want to make positive change in our sport. We want to make it a better place. And of course, there's been some uncomfortable things come to light over the past week, and we have to own that. We have to accept that. But ultimately, as a side, we have to keep trying to find ways of bettering our game and bettering society through cricket. And that doesn't change anything in terms of how we want to do things moving forward. We will continue to keep wearing those shirts. We will continue to keep finding ways to educate ourselves as players, as a group, and we will continue to find ways of bettering our sport and finding ways to action that as well throughout this summer and beyond. And that's very much how I feel. That's very much how the group feels. We've spent a lot of time talking about things, whether it be this week, whether it be over the last year in particular. How can we shape the game better? How can we make a real difference as a group of players? And we're still very much committed to that, and even in light of what's happened. Now, that's not going to sway us. We do feel strongly about this, and we will continue to keep trying to make a difference within our sport.
Can I ask, when was the last time, as captain, you addressed this matter with the team? Obviously, you will have spoken about it at Lords, but have you continued to speak about it in your huddle this morning, or is that issue still live, or have you had to, on a sporting level, park it and move on to cricket?
No, I think as a team we will continue to keep talking about it because it's really important. But as professionals, we know we have a job to do this week, and that when we start training, our full focus is preparing for that test match and making sure that by the start of the game we are fully engaged in playing at the top of our individual games and collectively very much ready to take on New Zealand. And we certainly used the last 2 days to prepare ourselves as well as we could. And that will be exactly the same tomorrow. We'll turn up to the ground and make sure that we're absolutely ready to go.
And I think you just covered it there actually, but just to confirm, tomorrow at the start of play, you'll wear the t-shirts again, and you'll come together in the aftermath of what's happened these last few days and make that statement again, have it in the background.
Yeah, we will, because as I said, we've committed to making a positive change in our sport, and I think it'd be very against everything that we've spent, this group of players and how we currently feel about things. That doesn't change just because of what's happened. We have to face up to things. We accept that we're not perfect and that we've made mistakes, as a lot of young people have, and we have to own that, and we have to be strong with that, and we have to stay together as a group of players, and we have to make sure that we continue to keep trying to improve the sport and improve society through the sport. And if we can do that and keep trying to spread that message, then that a lot of good can come off the back of some bad stuff that's happened in the last week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Will Macpherson, please.
Hi, Joe. Could you just talk us through the decisions you've got to make around your team this week? Obviously, you've got to make at least one change with Ollie not being here anymore, but do you think this is a pitch that's going to require a spinner, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's something that we'll have to consider. Again, balancing the side is always the tricky thing. Without that, the genuine all-rounder, which we normally have had within our squad, the likes of Chris Woke, Sam Curran, Ben Stokes, obviously, giving us a very balanced attack. It does change things slightly, and it will be slightly lopsided once again, but it's something that we will have to consider again tonight and make sure that we're really comfortable with going into tomorrow and give ourselves the best chance of taking 20 wickets and feeling that we can get the better of New Zealand with.
So you've still got a bit of thinking to do on that front?
We have, yeah.
And can we just get your reaction to the news that Kane Williamson isn't going to play in this game? Obviously, he's their big gun batsman.
He is a big gun. Number one in the world. He's one of those players that you do spend a lot of time thinking about how you're going to try and keep him quiet and get rid of him early. And it'll be a huge loss for them, but we're also very respectful that New Zealand have got a good, strong squad of players, and they're involved in this Test Championship final because they've got strength in depth and a number of players to come in and fill different roles. So we have to be very much respectful of that, and we have to, as we saw last week, a debutant coming in and getting a double 100. We've got to make sure that we're clear on our plans and clued up on whoever it is that replaces him to that we can find ways of keeping him quiet and hopefully dismiss him early as well.
Thanks, Joe.
No problem.
Okay, we'll go to John Etheridge and then Julian Geyer. Go ahead, John.
Joe, I'm not sure if Danny will allow this, but I'll give it a crack. Do you think it's fair that players are being castigated for things they tweeted decades ago? In one case, when the player was 15, I'm not talking about Ollie Robinson because that's been dealt with. He's taken that on board and apologised. But there are other players now who have been sort of sucked into this issue of stuff they tweeted, many years ago.
John, we're going to move on from that now. Joe's done enough on that now. We're going to move on to the game if possible.
Okay.
But thanks for asking. I understand where you're coming from. But
you ask another question in that case?
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you reflect on your team's batting on the final day of the Lord's Test?
Yeah, I've had some time to think about that, and I look at the situation we found ourselves in, and I still feel that we made the right decision. We turn up here and we've got an opportunity to win the series. Now, albeit it's not part of the Test Championship, but it's a Test match and it's a Test match series, and that means a hell of a lot to the players and to the group. And we're very keen to hopefully go on and put 5 days of strong cricket in this week and win the series. You look at the trends throughout the whole game. No one scored at 3 and over, even when the pitch was at its absolute best. It felt like as soon as the seamers came on, they could shut the board down and make it very difficult to score. There was some uneven bounce. And once we found that we tried to lay a platform, we tried to give ourselves a chance to chase it down. But having spent time out there myself, being out there in that situation, it didn't quite feel possible. Now, if they were to bowl spin from one end throughout the game, then felt like you could have a good crack at it and you might be able to get somewhere near it. But the nature of the pitch just didn't feel like it was the right option. And of course, we want to try and win as many Test matches as we can. But if we don't feel like we can win it, we want to be a hard team to beat. And we want to make sure that we can find ways of closing games out and moving on and giving ourselves chances to win a series. And that's the position we find ourselves in now, is that we come to this ground with the series level and a great opportunity in front of us to hopefully put in a good performance and come away victorious.
Okay, we'll go to Julian and then John Norman. Go ahead, Julian.
Yeah, hello, Joe.
Hi, John.
Looks like New Zealand will have Trent Boult back for this match. From your experience of facing him, what is it that makes him such a good bowler?
I think he's clever. I think he's a smart bowler. I think he's got a number of different skills, and he's found ways of exploiting different conditions around the world. He's very experienced now, and he's got good experiences in the UK with a Duke ball as well. So, of course, his record speaks for itself, and we'll have to find ways of countering what he throws. He swings the new ball. He brings the stumps into play a lot. So we just have to make sure we're ready for all the challenges that he poses, and when we do get our opportunities to score, we're ready to take those chances.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, John Norman, TalkSport.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for talking. Just looking back to the Lord's Test match and your use of Mark Wood, what was notable was that he wasn't just used as a kind of shock and awe kind of bowler. A couple of his wickets are much more conventional than that. Can you just give me an idea about how you see his role within the side and how you went about utilising him, especially in that first innings?
Yeah, I think with Mark, I think it's very easy because of his express pace and because of the fact that he can be a real point of difference and bowl that intimidating short stuff that you just can continually try and do that. But he's very skillful. Like a lot of our fast bowlers, our genuine quick bowlers, they're more than just try and make batters uncomfortable and bowl short stuff. And he's got some brilliant skills. He can move the ball both ways. Now, if there is reverse available, he's a fantastic reverse swing bowler. So I think it'd be wrong to just try and utilize them in one way. And the more and more he plays, the more he'll get confidence from performing in a different array of ways, if you like. And that's something that we should continue to encourage and explore. And it's how you grow players. It's how you develop as individuals and as a team as well, and make your attack as dangerous as possible.
In terms of the upcoming India series with the likes of Stokes and Butler and Wokes and the likes to come back, is this are the batsmen under additional pressure, knowing that essentially 5 places alongside yourself, of course, are going to become 3? Is that an additional focus, do you think, for all the batsmen involved?
No, I see it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity for them to go out and score Test match runs for their country. And I hope that they view it like that, because they've got an opportunity, but also a responsibility as a player to go and play that situation in front of them to the best of their ability, and try and eradicate any other thoughts other than getting absorbed in that moment, getting ready for that next ball, and giving themselves the best chance of performing. And that's the mindset that we want to try and create. Is that guys come into this team, come into this environment, they can seamlessly fit into it and go and do their roles within the side. So hopefully guys will feel that way tomorrow. They'll go and take that chance. And if we are batting first, we can go and do what we set out to do as a team, which is make big first innings runs and drive the game forward from that point onwards. And the lads are fully aware of that, and they're all extremely talented and capable of making big contributions.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, John. We'll go to Andrew Miller and then Dean Wilson. Go ahead, Andrew.
Hi, Joe. Obviously, leaving aside all the off-field stuff, you're going to go into this game missing Ollie Robinson, who was arguably the pick of your attack last time out. I mean, can you just reflect on what he brought to the attack on his debut, and what attributes you're going to have to find to replace him? And I mean, Craig Overton's obviously a potential in that number 8 role, but the other guys have got to maybe learn lessons from the way he went about his work, haven't they?
Yeah, I think he offered a great amount of control. He managed to keep the ball moving laterally throughout the whole innings, in both innings, which is a fine skill to be able to exploit that throughout an 80-over period, especially towards the back end with an older ball, and still control the rate was a brilliant achievement on debut. I thought his runs were very valuable as well. The position that we found ourselves in, they were very valuable runs, and it was a great partnership that him and Rory put together. So, of course, there are things and areas that, as a team, I think it's so valuable and important that you learn from each other's experiences, and you learn from each other's performances, and can take confidence from that as well. And I hope a number of the other guys within the squad, if they get the opportunity to play tomorrow, they see what Ollie did last week, and they think, well, this is an opportunity for me to better that, or me to take that mantle on and to really put in a performance here. And that's, I suppose, one way that you can really try and gather momentum as a team and grow confidence within the group.
And just specifically on that number 8 role, I mean, obviously, in the absence of so many of your recognised all-rounders, as you say, those runs were important. Do you think, someone like Craig Overton is actually vital to the balance of the team for this match? Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty long tail, isn't it?
As I said, it's going to be lopsided however you look at it. However we balance it, it's always going to look slightly, favouring one over the other, and feel like we're missing something. But that's just because of the nature of how it's looked over such a long period of time. And we might find ourselves in situations like this in the future, and we're going to still have to find ways of winning games. So in many ways, it gives us an opportunity to see what that looks like and find ways of being successful if that is the case. So I don't think it necessarily means that Craig is a shoe, and of course he's up for selection, and he will be considered. But there are a number of other bowlers as well that could offer something to our attack. And that I think it's important that we're really clear on what we think the best attack is on this surface.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do Dean Wilson, Chris Stocks, and finish with John Westerby. Go ahead, Dean.
Hi, Joe. Maybe 17,000 people in this ground over the next 5 days. last game of a series, a chance for you to get the win under the belt, I guess. Does that make you feel like you might gamble a little bit more to try and have that success? I know the conditions weren't particularly helpful at Lord's, but do you get the sense that you might just be a little more adventurous if possible?
Are you referring to the last day?
No, I'm just saying this is a big event and lots of people in here looking for entertainment. Are you going to give them what they want?
Hopefully. I know we're all very wary in the entertainment business when it comes to playing cricket. And, we all want to be a part of those games, those special games that that provide that entertainment. They're the ones that you remember, the ones that stick out in my mind, that World Cup final, Headingley, Cape Town, those ones that go to the wire, the ones that are really entertaining, they're the games that you remember as a player. And they're the ones that you want to be involved in and have big contributions in. And of course, if there are chances to go and win test matches, we will try and look to take them if we feel like that's a realistic possibility. So yeah, absolutely. If the opportunities arise, we'll definitely be looking to be aggressive. I don't want us to be considered as a negative team that plays a boring brand of cricket. We are very much. We've got some very exciting players that are capable of some wonderful pieces and passages of cricket, and hopefully that'll come to light this week.
Great, thanks.
Cheers, thank you.
Okay, we'll finish with Chris Stocks and John Westerby. Go ahead, Chris.
Hi, Joe. I was going to mention about the 17,000 fans in tomorrow. I mean, it's almost 2 years ago since we had a proper crowd in for an international match in this country. I mean, how big a factor do you think that will be in this test?
I think it'll be great, to have people enjoying the sport again, pretty much a full house. That atmosphere, we know Edgbaston in particular provides a wonderful atmosphere. At times you feel like you've got 12 players on the pitch and you've got that extra man, which can be so vital. And the support that we get as a team, we're very aware how lucky we are, how well we're supported, and very much looking forward to it. It's something that we've missed as a side, something that we're really looking forward to, relishing, and can't wait to hopefully experience 5 good days of cricket along with everyone else in the ground.
Does the presence of that number of fans, does it affect performance at all? Does it give you a bit more adrenaline?
I think that every individual takes it slightly differently. For me, it just adds to the excitement of it all. There's always that showman in everyone, if you like, that you want to go out there and you want to put on a show for everyone, and it's an opportunity to go and do that in your own way. And this is something that we've all missed as a side, that interaction with the fans and the crowd, and sort of feeding off that at times. There's certain bowlers in particular, you look at likes of Ben Stokes and Stewart, a number of the guys, they really respond to that atmosphere within the ground in a positive way, and that could be a real boost for us. So hopefully that is the case, and it can play into our hands.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, last one, John Westerby. Go ahead.
Hi, Joe. Just very quickly, just want to check how your hand is. Are you still feeling any discomfort there at all?
No, my hand's absolutely fine. I think I probably over-egged it how bad it was on the training days, and probably worried you all a little bit too much. But no, it is absolutely fine. I'm very much looking forward to getting back out there and hopefully converting the starts that I made in the first game into big ones.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks
Catch you tomorrow.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks.